Reporters Without Borders says it evaluated 180 countries in 2022 and found that the press freedom environment in 70% of them was problematic.
There were 533 journalists imprisoned around the world by our count. Another factor that's increasing the volatility for journalists around the world is the dissemination of disinformation that's being amplified by our artificial intelligence.
In March, Moscow detained American journalist and reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Evan Gershkovich, on charges of espionage, allegations the reporter denies. Weimers noted that Russia's crackdown on the media accelerated after the invasion of Ukraine, falling another 9 places to rank 164.
What we saw was a wholesale crackdown on mentions of the war on the internet, on the ability of journalists to cover what was really going on. We also saw Russian armed forces targeting the media on the battlefield in Ukraine, and 8 journalists were killed.
East Asia also has some of the worst scores on the index. Vietnam ranked 178 on the list. It has cracked down on reporters and commentators.
In the case of China and North Korea, there is no free press. It simply doesn't exist.
Reporters in Iran faced repression covering protests related to Mahsa Amini, who died after she was arrested by the morality police. Africa's rating on media freedom also fell last year. In Latin America, Reporters Without Borders sounded the alarm for what they say is a lack of accountability when journalists are murdered.
And this is driven in large part by countries like Mexico, where fundamentally the rule of law has broken down.
The killing of investigative journalist Jeff German, who was stabbed to death in September, contributed to America falling 3 places in the ranking.
There's always been cases where, people either dismiss the importance of journalists or they actually take violent actions against them because they're trying to repress the information and they want to control the message.
Accountability is key to protecting media freedoms, UNESCO's Guilherme Canella told VOA.
In some countries, the rate of impunity is 99%. The global rate is 86, which is high. Almost of 10 killings of journalists, almost 9, they go unpunished. So the first thing we can do in the international system is concretely implement this broader view of prevention, protection, and prosecution.
On the digital front, UNESCO says female journalists are increasingly being threatened and, in some cases, physically attacked. Verónica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.